What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction video. In this video, we have China underestimates India's military. Now, before we dive into this video, if you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit that join button to receive exclusive benefits that I know you guys will enjoy. Let's dive right in.
You had written recently in an Indian policy publication that the Chinese strategic community consistently underestimates India. What does the CCP most underestimate? Can you say most underestimate?
I don't want to be condensation about this, Matt, but
The funny part is Shelley just literally spit while she was laughing.
I don't want to be condensation about this.
Anderson, zoom in on that. Slow-mo, repeat it. Enhance.
Oh, God.
Seriously, Anderson, do that.
I underestimated Shelley's ability to do a spit take. What does China underestimate about India?
I think actually what you underestimated was Chris's ability to be funny.
Well,
I'm like the
overestimating.
Montreal
That's
humor.
tough.
Yes, you
That's
Chris
tough.
is the Montreal of you. Okay, anyway, back to what was the question?
CCP strategic
Estimates. Yes.
Yeah, so the CCP, I don't think it's a secret that the Chinese Communist Party, they are pretty racist, and there was the condescension.
All right, come on. We got to stop the laugh. We got to. I feel like she's still thinking about that spit take she just did a second ago. She's still, and sometimes when you got the giggles and you keep thinking about something that was funny and you keep just busting out laughing, it's very hard to move on. You need 5 minutes to gather yourself. But China's Communist Party, pretty racist. Okay, and that's supposed to be, what's the word? I guess evident. We'll say that because I can't think of the word that I want to say, but let's continue.
What is the matter, Shelley?
Sorry. I was just thinking about the condensation.
I knew
Cleo
it.
said condescension again, so I just lost it.
I was paying attention to our
I was thinking of the word obvious. That's supposed to be obvious.
guest, Shelley. This is unprofessional.
She got the
I know.
giggles. She
I don't
got
want to
the
sound
giggles.
condensation to you, but come on.
What do you have in your cups?
Bourbon. Mao Tai.
Ugh.
That's why Matt noticed the spit take it burned.
Cleo.
So condensation. No, what's the word?
Condescension.
Condescension.
We're almost there. Sorry, Cleo.
I don't know why you keep coming on our show.
Yeah, let Cleo talk. I'm trying to hear how China's underestimating Indian military. Let Cleo talk.
But thank you.
When China condescensiates at India. Why?
Yes. Well, you keep getting these references always to that 1999 book, Unrestricted Warfare, written by 2 PLA Air Force colonels. And if you are like me and try to pretend you're intelligent by sitting in front of books, then what you do is you go to, you got it pulled up there.
We have a picture of a newspaper. We're smart.
Then you look at their footnotes and you see who they're referencing. And Unrestricted Warfare references all of the Western strategic texts that you'd imagine, Clausewitz and whatever, and Machiavelli, and the Chinese strategic texts, and not a single Indian strategic text. And India has thousands of years of strategic thought, I mean, including the Arthashastra by Kautilya, very complex strategic history, thought. And they had very wealthy princely states that were coastal and traded internationally. And so, of course, they developed complex geopolitical views and ways of interacting, which are completely missing from unrestricted warfare. And part of it is, I think they're just racist. I think they just didn't think that there was, anybody. They just saw the West as being a competitor, but they didn't see India as potentially being an
Overlooked
intellectual
them.
equal or competitor, which is kind of ironic because, of course, some of Chinese culture came, from India, especially around Buddhism and things like that. But
True.
what that does is,
So it sounds to me like China, definitely, I guess Communist Party, definitely racist. And I guess it was the racism that made them overlook India as to where they saw themselves as better than India. And so they looked down upon Indians. And so they didn't even see them as a threat, whereas they look over to the West, obviously see the threat. But they're overlooking India. And that's where they're making a mistake. Let's continue.
and I think that it probably played into what happened in Galwan, because what happened in Galwan was this border clash that Matt talked about, where the Chinese troops attacked an Indian patrol and killed the commanding officer. And I think it's likely they thought, you kill the commanding officer, the Indians will run, because that maybe they were projecting. Maybe that's what would happen in a Chinese unit, in a PLA unit. But what happens on the Indian side is that relationship with the commanding officer is almost like a parent to the children. There's incredible devotion, and they regroup and counterattack with absolute ferocity and dedication and intelligence and training. Estimates are they killed probably at least twice as many PLA. Although the PLA never announced the full number of the dead, which gives you a good idea of how validating it is to be a member of the PLA, because your death is just an embarrassment to your government. Whereas on the Indian side, every one of those 20 who died was commemorated. People knew, people cared, that sort of thing. So I think that they just have underestimated the depth of complexity, intelligence, grit, and focus within the Indian military and the Indian strategic community. And at the same time, the Indian military, since Galwan, has been completely redesigning itself. So they've changed their conscription way that they bring people in, so that now people are brought in for 4 years, and then after 4 years, 75% of them will leave the force. They get a lump sum of money. There's no pension or anything, but you get a lump sum of money, and then you can go back to school or set up a business. But also there are reservations being set aside, for example, in some police forces, to hire from those people who've just spent 4 years in the military because they're pre-trained.
Wow.
And only 25% will continue on to go to sort of rise up through the ranks. So what the Indians are doing is creating a much more broad coterie of people across Indian society who have served at a national level, worked with Indians from all across the country, and know how to work in a military environment, how to handle weapons, how to take command, how to give command, all that sort of stuff. So, and at the same time, they're also restructuring their theaters of operations, which is a whole other way of becoming better at fighting China. So China, first of all, if you look back to 1999, didn't even consider India a strategic threat. And when it clearly was, I mean, it's held off Pakistan since 1947. But not only was India good, it's redesigning itself to get even better.
Facts.
And I'm not sure the Chinese Communist Party or the PLA really knows how to even understand what's in the heart of an Indian member of the military. their devotion to country and community, built up from their devotion to family, gives them a level of commitment that may not be there in the average PLA soldier or Marine or member of the Navy or whatever.
So I guess it sounds like China kind of underestimated the resilience of an Indian military, or of the Indian military personnel, of a member in the military. To where I guess China, the incident where China decided to kill the commanding officer of India, and they also killed 19 other soldiers, and they thought India would run. They thought, because they didn't think much of India, they weren't scared of them, they didn't see them as a threat. But India didn't run. She said that relationship is more like a parent-child relationship. And you guys know, somebody do something to your parents, and you had good parents, you ready to go to bat for them. You ready to die for them. And so what the Indian military did was they regrouped, and then they attacked fiercely to the point where it was embarrassing for China, to where the PLA wouldn't even mention how many deaths happened to their military or to their military personnel, or China wouldn't mention how many deaths happened to their military personnel, whereas every single one of those Indian soldiers who passed were honored, right? And we don't even know who passed on China's side, because they wouldn't even tell you how many passed in the first place. So to tell you who passed, it doesn't sound like they'd be willing to do that either. But I guess it sounds like China should have been seeing India as a military threat, or as a threat in general, for a while, but they overlooked them, which I feel like is to India's advantage, because they were able to continue to build, they were able to continue getting stronger, and so they were probably fine. Keep overlooking us, China. We'll keep getting stronger. We'll keep getting stronger. So by the time you stop overlooking us, we're already strong enough to take you on. And at this point, I do think China's military is stronger, but I do think India has relationships in place. And India is continuing to grow at a very rapid rate, and their military is continuing to grow. And as their economy grows, I'm sure the more money will go into the defense budget. And you know what I'm saying? The stronger that military power is going to get. But until then, it sounds like India is already very strategic in their way of thinking. That if anything happened with China, they, like I said, they have very strategic relationships in place, but they also have very good strategies on how to fight against China that I've seen in multiple videos. So I'd love to hear what you guys think on the topic. That's all we have here. And if you enjoyed that, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and check out the next one. It's your boy Neal, out.